Hi, this is Doug Upstone for SportsbookReview.com, and we are going to be talking National League futures. I got my good pal, Ross Benjamin, here to join me as my partner in crime as we look through these games, or look through these teams, excuse me, and see what we can come up for you to help you the sports better and see what we can give you some insight and some really good information. Welcome, Ross. Glad to have you aboard.
Always a pleasure to speak to you, my man.
So let's dig in here to the National League and what teams right now, give me two teams that catch your eye that you're looking at as potential wagers for the National League futures right now.
My favorite here would be the Washington Nationals at 13-5. I mean, you'd be hard-pressed to find any pitching staff in baseball right now that could match their top five in the rotation. Are you kidding me? Steven Strasburg, Max Scherzer, Jordan Zimmerman, Gio Gonzalez, and Doug Fister as your number five? Wow. I'm telling you, you'd be hard-pressed to get a better rotation in all of baseball than that, albeit I think the second best rotation is right in the National League, and that's the San Francisco Giants. But having said that, I don't want to get off on a tangent. The other one, I know I'm going to get a challenge from you on. I like the Miami Marlins as a sleeper at 20-1, Doug. Especially, boy, oh boy, if they ever get Jose Fernandez back healthy in June, this could be a formidable starting rotation. Also with Henderson Alvarez at the top of the rotation. Their bullpen it's solid, but their lineup is vastly overrated. Giancarlo Stanton, just a tremendous power hitter who hits for average. And top to bottom, I like this lineup. I think it's very underrated. So those two teams are the ones I would keep an eye on myself. Maybe you will. I don't know. You're going to tell me right now.
You're exactly right, Ross. I'm going to come right back. I'm going to agree with you on Washington. I think this team is loaded. I think last year they really just kind of fizzled out into the playoffs, and players that weren't used to that pressure just didn't come through. And I think with Max Scherzer at the top of the rotation, I think there's going to be a lot of positive things. But you're right about Miami. I'm not sold on Miami, Ross. I mean, I see the improvement, and I like what they've put together. I'm just not sure in terms of continuity if this team can go forward, my opinion on that particular aspect. I still, though, like the Los Angeles Dodgers as a top bet. Again, not really a big surprise there. It's a loaded team. I think, if anything, this team has the potential to be better because I think the clubhouse chemistry is going to be better. They'll be a little bit lower on offense, but definitely an increase a better increase on defense. I think that's going to help them as they go along through the season. Now, Ross, we're basically in agreement in principle on this. What about teams that you're looking at say, oh, geez, these teams just aren't that good. They're overrated. What do you got, Ross?
Your beloved Chicago Cubs at 10-1? Are you kidding me? Really, Doug? Honestly, I know you're a diehard Chicago guy, but I can't see the Cubs at 10-1. Made vast improvements in their starting rotation. Joe Madden, excellent manager, but still I see a lot of holes in their lineup, no depth on the bench, quality depth, I should say, and I don't like their bullpen. And then the San Diego Padres at 10-1. I understand new ownership has spent a lot of money this offseason. I'm not sure if they got the kind of value in their spending that will result in favorable wins-loss record as it applies to the 2015 season. What's your thoughts on those particular subjects?
Well, Ross, I'm actually going to agree with you 100% on the Chicago Cubs. I think it's insane that they're the fourth best choice in futures bets to win the National League. This team has not proven anything. There have been years since they've done anything. I think there's certainly a great deal of improvement going forward with them. And I think in a couple of years, this team has a legitimate chance to be contender. But in 2015, no, that's not going to happen. Now, when I look at the San Diego, I agree with you in principle. I think this team has to prove it on the field, and that's one of the concerns. I think, once again, though, I agree that they will be better. I'm just not sure how much better just yet if they're ready to challenge either San Francisco or the Dodgers. One team, though, that I'm not as excited about as you are is San Francisco. I think this team comes back. I'm not as sold on their rotation. Yes, I love how this team wins games, how they're tough when it counts. But also, this is an odd year, Ross, and the last three championships they've won were in 2010, 12, and 14. 15, I think they take a hike. I got the Giants being pushed out. I think that you can save your money on the Giants and not bet them for futures.
You're using the same analogy I use with Boston. I like it, okay? I don't have a problem with that. I just don't agree with your assessment of the Giants' rotation, Doug. They're, in my mind, are the second best of all in baseball, but this is what this show is for, correct?
That's correct. And besides Madison Bumgarner, who are you going to put your hat on in terms of who's really going to who's going to, on a consistent basis, win games for this team?
Well, I mean, Tim Lincecum had a terrible year last year, and I think he's pretty much shot. But he's a bottom of the guy rotation. I mean,
Yep.
but here I agree with you to a degree. But the bottom line is, I like their bullpen as well, and they're back into their bullpen. So, and their lineup doesn't scare a lot of people, but it's basically, with the exception of Pablo Sandoval, it is basically the same lineup we saw a season ago, and one that's been there and done that. But I like your assessment of this odd even type of thing. Just like Boston, you said, how could they go from 70 to 90 wins? Well, they've done that in odd years or even years, whatever you want to match that up to be. So, again, yeah, I like the Giants. I'm not in love with the Giants. The two picks I did give you are the ones that I really like, and I'm going to stick with Washington and Miami as my picks in the National League.
All right, that's your story, and you're going to stick with it, and I'm going to stick with mine. I don't like the Giants to win the National League, and so I'm content with that. And right now, I like Washington and the Dodgers to be the two best contenders. Ross, it's been a pleasure once again to talk some baseball with you, and I know we're going to be talking more in the future right here at SBR Videos.
I certainly look forward to it, Doug, and stay warm.